been really just pissed off at work? Yeah? Well, did you show it? Do you think there's ever really an acceptable way to show anger in the workplace? Did your eyebrows just go up? By the end of this video, you're gonna have my answer to that question. And I'm so curious if it matches yours. Let's find out. In this video, you're gonna first hear my disclaimer regarding emotion in the workplace. Then you're gonna learn what is, in my opinion, the threshold between acceptable and unacceptable expression of anger in the workplace. And finally, and most importantly, you're gonna hear the risk associated with anger in the workplace. And I guarantee you, it's not the risk that you're thinking right now. So my work rests at the intersection of change and emotion because I firmly believe that what happens at that intersection is what determines your growth potential. What you do when you're going through change and you experience those difficult emotions or even those really high vibe emotions like enthusiasm and hope. So because this is my work, I embrace anger. I think its acknowledgement and expression is an important part on the path of growth. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm biased, right? I actually believe that anger is an important part of your growth, is an important part of your learning, and of course that happens when you're in the workplace. And so I believe that anger absolutely has a place in the workplace. So just take everything that you hear in the remainder of the video through that lens, knowing that I am indeed straight up biased as you think about anger and at work. For me, the threshold between showing anger at work in an acceptable versus unacceptable way is respect. Respect. As soon as you pass over that threshold of respecting your colleagues, of respecting your clients, your customers, respecting the values, the purpose of the organization, that's when you reach an unacceptable way of showing your anger. And I'm sure you've seen these more disrespectful ways manifest in a lot of different ways, whether that be yelling, arguing with employees, berating them, insulting their character, the person that they are. Physicality, right? Throwing stuff, maybe even getting physical with other employees, really angry, disrespectful emails, phone calls, right? There's a way that you can express anger such that you don't pass over that threshold, such that respect is maintained. And to that end, let's get to that portion of the video. So when you're feeling that anger within and can acknowledge that that anger is present and then express it in a way that maintains respect for yourself, for your colleagues, for your leaders, your managers, and the company values, then do it. Do it. I think there's a lot of power in being able to give voice, to give language to that emotional energy, to let those around you that you are feeling that anger. And the power is increased when you can actually give voice to what's driving that anger. What was that person or that individual's behavior that might have inspired the anger? What was the happening? What was the event that inspired that anger within you? That can again lead to authentic connection. That's you showing and bringing your full authentic self into your work, which again can inspire connection and ultimately collaboration. In fact, I found that the more that you can engage with an individual and share when you might be feeling anger based on their words or their behavior, that's actually going to nurture increased respect. I mean, just think about it. Those individuals in your lives that you garner a lot of respect for, you're probably more likely to express when they might have angered you or might have done something that angered you because you respect that individual and you want to make sure that you continue having a good working relationship, a good relationship overall with this individual. And of course, I completely believe, and you learn this a lot in therapy, that conflict actually inspires greater connection, right? If you can move through the conflict. And often conflict involves a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of those more low vibe types of feelings. And the other thing I'll say about the power of expressing, acknowledging that anger emotion is that it also creates the opportunity for you to hold those in the organization accountable, especially when they might be behaving or saying things in a way that's perhaps not upholding to the value, to the mission of the business. And so you then can express anger that perhaps was inspired within you and then hold them accountable for their words or for their actions. By the way, are you getting value from this? Do you actually enjoy talking about anger and frustration and rage? Then this is your channel. You are my people. So make sure you click subscribe. I drop videos like this all the time, striving to deliver you value. So click subscribe so you can be one of the first to get a video in your inbox. All right, let's get back into it. Finally, let me talk about the greatest risk that I see in not expressing anger in the workplace. So if you're one of those individuals who feel like anger has no place in the workplace, it can only be a disruption, and it should be left outside of the door of business, this is what I will offer to you. Carrying that belief does not stop the anger from being inspired within individuals in the workplace. Just because you don't think it should be expressed doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And when you're not inviting the expression, the acknowledgement of the anger, it's like that energy has nowhere to go. And so individuals that maintain that belief, they have to find some other means of letting that emotion flow. And so what that might look like is maybe erupting on either an employee or maybe even your loved ones outside of the workplace in that anger when they did nothing to deserve it. It might look like individuals who carry that anger within them, never really expressing it, never really letting it move, and then striving to find other ways of delivering their talent and their energy, thinking the grass has to be greener somewhere else because all I do is get angry when I'm in this environment. And if they don't express it, if they don't acknowledge it, then they can't have that conflict turn into greater connection and collaboration. So for me, that's what I see as the greatest risk when you're not allowing anger to be expressed and acknowledged within the workplace in a very respectful way. Speaking of anger, I've got something else for you, and it's for free, and hopefully you're not gonna be mad about reading it. I actually wanna gift you a free chapter of my best-selling book, Change Enthusiasm: How to Harness the Power of Emotion for Leadership and Success. And I want to gift you the introductory chapter of this work. And this is going to top line what this growth mindset is, which is rooted in those really difficult, what I call signal emotions when going through change. One of them, a very important one, being anger. And it's going to give you a new perspective on how you can choose to transform that energy, to move you forward, to learn, to grow, to evolve. And it's yours today for free. All you gotta do is click on the link in the content notes. I wanna make sure that you have the data, the insights, the research to ensure your growth through even your greatest, most anger-inspiring change endeavors. I'm Cassandra Worthy, and until we meet again, keep growing and keep rocking.